Hi, I'm Pete, and this is a demonstration solve of the 3x5x7 Cuboid from the Shapeways shop of Puzzle Maestro. This puzzle was designed by Gregoire Fenning. So a demonstration solve, I'm going to go fairly quickly. I'm only going to show cases that come up during the solve, and I won't be putting graphics on the screen. I'll try to put as many of my algorithms in the notes as I can, though. So I just want to show how I've come up, the solution I've come up with for this puzzle, and show some of the techniques. Now, I really enjoy solving this cuboid, but it has been a big challenge to learn how to solve it because all of the edges, all of the faces are odd. The dimensions of this puzzle, it presents some very unique cases, and I've had to employ some solution methods that are really quite different from what I'm used to on other cuboids. But there's really nothing, I don't think there's really anything new on here. It's just I've had to apply existing algorithms in and very unique ways on here. So I'll just talk a little bit about pieces and what I call the different pieces. So these are centers right here, center edge pieces, and of course the corners. And these pieces here, I call them wings, but I'm calling them corner wings because they are associated with the corners. And these are, I'm also calling them wings, and I'm calling them center wings because they're associated with the centers. These 9 pieces in the middle, I call those the 9 centers because they all are solved kind of in one step. So those are the 9 centers. Now these curvy centers, I call them curvy centers, and I call them that to distinguish them from the 9 centers. And you'll notice that they are unique in that there is no equivalent on 2 of the edges. So the curvy centers are only on 2 of the edges, and that causes some interesting situations when you're doing some of the algorithms here. I am using a alternate stickering from the normal stickering you get if you just order the stickers from Oliver's shop. You would normally get the white and yellow on the big face with the curvy parts. I really like the way it looks with this stickering, but I have had a little trouble with piece recognition because of course the algorithms I use are standard cuboid algorithms that assume that you have a top and a bottom, and I'm so used to seeing white and yellow on there that this has caused just a little bit of problems, but I've gotten used to it after quite a few solves. So let's do the scramble here now. To get a good scramble on this puzzle, you really have to concentrate when it's in the cuboid form on breaking up the wings, the inner wings, the corner wings, and also the center wings. Because if you don't, what really happens is you end up with a pretty trivial scramble once you get it back to the cuboid state. Now I've defined an extra state here. Normally you have the shape-shifted state and then the cuboid state, and I've defined what I call the horned cuboid state as an intermediate after you finish the solve of the shape-shifted part of the puzzle, and you'll see why I call it that when we get there. So I'm just doing as thorough a scramble as I possibly can here on the cuboid form, and I'm really taking my time to make sure I get this right so that we'll have a really good scramble. I've had a few scrambles when I went to solve it. It really wasn't challenging at all, even though I felt I scrambled it quite a bit. So I'm not really sure what makes a good scramble on this puzzle. I know that splitting up the the wings like this in the cuboid form will definitely give you more of a challenge from that part of it. But really, I've seen some pretty weak scrambles once I got it back into the horned cuboid state. There wasn't much to do, so I don't know. A strange thing, eh? So yeah, I haven't spent as much time on this puzzle as I would have liked. I've just been really busy lately, but you know, I've really enjoyed learning to solve it. Certainly one of the more challenging puzzles, no question about it. I don't want to scare you off, but it's really been quite the challenge. Part of it because there's just nothing like it, which is, of course, what we want. Okay, so here we are. Now I think I've got the cuboid part scrambled pretty well, so now I'm going to do the shape-shifted scramble. And you'll notice now the wings start to bandage. They start to bandage to the corners. And so that's why you have to do a really good thorough scramble before we go into this shape-shifted part. Can shapeshift in all the different directions. It turns reasonably well in the shapeshifted form. It's a little catchy. You just have to make sure that everything's lined up nicely. And you'll probably see it being a little more awkward for me just because of the way I'm holding the puzzle and I have the camera in the way. So any issues you see me having are just a little bit exaggerated just by the nature of this format here. So you may notice as I'm scrambling this that there are only 3 layers now, that everything's bandaged together, and that's really the key to solving it from the cuboid state. Is you treat it like a 3x3, and you turn the wings in as one unit, and just solve the outer edges and corners and the inner pieces. Okay, well, I hope I've done a good job here. What I'm going to do now, I'm just going to pause the camera so that we have a good 10 minutes. I have to pause my camera every 10 minutes because it's actually a digital still camera that I'm misusing. Okay, so when we come back, we'll start to solve. So back, and now it is time to solve it like a 3x3. Now I consider the bottom to be the blue on my puzzle, and the top will be the green. And because it's an odd order puzzle, then the centers are fixed. So there's the blue. So the first order of business is to form the bottom cross. We already have one in. And so I'm just going to find pieces that will help me get this bottom cross here. So that's another one. So part of the early challenge when you first get this puzzle, I think, is just to sort of learn your way around it. What do pieces look like when they're scrambled up like this, and all this shape-shifted madness. And it just takes a little practice, and then it just sort of seems to all fall together. Okay, so I need the orange. Oh, okay, so that's the red, and I just need to find the red and blue end here, and then we'll be off. And I'm sure people can see it right now. I can't. It's a lot easier when you're watching, isn't it? Okay, found it. Okay, and so there we go. So we have the bottom cross. So so now I am going to put in the corners, and I just use a beginner method. I think the F2L is really very confusing, and so I on this puzzle, I tried it, and it was really hard to do. It could also be because of the non-standard color scheme. So what I need here, I have the yellow and blue, so yellow, and I need blue with yellow and red on it. That's the corner I'm looking for. I thought I saw it here a second ago. It doesn't matter which, oh, there it is. It doesn't matter which corner I start with. Actually, I guess I should, I'm just going to start over here. I do use the wide faces to, there we go. I use the wide faces to do the corners. I'm not really sure why. I just find it more natural to do it that way. So I basically do this face and then both corners and then turn it around. Okay, so there's one corner in. That other corner I was looking for, I think it's, nope. Yellow and blue. Alright, well, I'm having my problems here. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I'm just going to go and do this this white side here. So I need white and orange. Would be nice. There's my blue, white, and orange. Okay, and just recognizing which orientation the corners are in just takes a little bit of practice, and it's not too bad. But yeah, it did take a little while to get that sorted out. Okay, and I think that got me this this corner. So this is the corner I'm looking for here. This is the yellow and red, and so I have to stand this up right here, and so then I can put it in. So kind of enjoy using the beginner's algorithms for some of these puzzles. It sort of keeps me sharp, because I forget those if I don't use them very much. And okay, so we need one more corner here. Okay, there it is. It's sitting there right in front of me. Okay. Now you might see a little bit of dust here. There is a bit of dust still leaking out of the, it's from the inside of the pieces from the shape ways materials. I just blow it out every once in a while. Okay, so I have all my corners in, and so now I'm just going to go and put my edges in, again using the beginner's method. And so this is the orange and yellow edge. So this is the yellow, because that's the middle there, and there's the orange. So again, it's just the beginner's method to put that in. And so we'll just go like that. And remember, I'm doing wing turns. So in the 3x3 solve, I'm sure I do only wing turns. Sorry if this is not keeping this on the screen here. A little bit awkward. So there you go. So I put in that middle edge, and I'm going to put in another middle edge here, yellow and red. And okay, so there it is, yellow and red. And yeah, and I do find it hard to sort of see whether they have stickers or not under the glare of the lights, but it's just, I do that anyway. I check it with my fingers to see whether there's a sticker there. I just would have to look at it a little too closely. Otherwise, okay, so there's an edge. And let's see here. Okay, so there's another edge here. It's hard to see, but it's right here. You can see it doesn't have a sticker on either side. So I'm gonna line that up. Just the standard beginner's edge insertion. Okay, and okay, I made a mistake. mistake there. That's not the edge that goes there. So the edge that goes there is right over here. All right, well, try again. Okay, so that's better. And one more edge. This is that final edge. And you'll notice that the puzzle, it turns reasonably well when it's shape-shifted, but like all shape-shifting cuboids, it's a little bit awkward when it's shape-shifted. It starts to turn better and better as you get closer to cuboid form. So now the next step is the top cross. And just for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to pause the camera for a second and we'll come back and do that. So we're doing the top layer. Green is my top layer, and then we're going to do the top cross. And what we see here is that I have the line, standard line. And remember, we're not looking at the wings at all, so it's just the middle pieces here. I don't know if you can even, I hope you can actually see in there. Okay, anyways, the top cross. So we'll just do the standard algorithm. So the standard edge orientation algorithm, we got it, and now I'm just going to use a beginner's method to insert the edges. And so what that means is that I have to find one edge that's correct and then all the other ones are wrong. And there we have it. So the white one is good, and then the other three are wrong. And I'm just going to do SUNE once or twice until the edges are all in the correct spot. So okay, so I only had to do it once. Sometimes you have to do it twice. So now I can't rotate the top layer while I'm doing the corners. So I'm going to use the beginner's corner method. What I need here is I have to find one good corner. So that's white. So that's not correct. That's yellow and red. Okay, so that corner is correct. So that's going to be my front right corner. And now this is white and red. So that goes here. Which means we are going counterclockwise. So I'm going to use the beginner's corner permutation counterclockwise. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, that looked a little scary, didn't it? Anyway, I got it. I somehow figured it out, and so this corner's correct, and this corner's correct, and this corner's correct. So now, as you'll notice, they're sticking straight up. So we will just use a standard corner orientation algorithm, and we have to be very careful. I always do this with the long face here. And this is, I think, where I have the most trouble in this step is messing up my cuboid solve right here, my shape-shifted solve. So basically, you just do this little algorithm twice, and then you see what you have. You might have to do the whole sequence twice. Oops. Okay, that's once. That's twice, and you see that it's still not correct because I want it flat. So we'll just do it again, and that'll fix it. Okay. Whoa. And my cuboid's just not quite lined up here. That's the... Okay, and doing it twice definitely does it. Now, this is all messed up. Don't worry about it. It'll sort itself in the end. Okay, now we got to remember that now it's going to be sort of lying sideways, not lined up with the edge here. Okay, and that is one of the tricks, is to recognize when the corner is correct, and that one is correct because we have the narrow part. Okay, and another one. Whoop. Whoop. Now, if you wanted to speed solve this and use your speed solving methods, I believe they would work, no problem. It's just piece recognition would be brutal. Okay, and one more, and then the bottom should also be sorted out. And this is where I get myself into the most trouble. This is that when I get to this step, the bottom isn't sorted out because I've made a mistake somewhere. And it just seems like I'm struggling with it. Well, I am. It really needs to be kind of flattened out here, but and there we go. Okay, so now I just have to turn everything, and you'll see that I have my my centers all done, my corners and edges, and this is what I call the horned cuboid state. Because even though it's back to the cuboid state, it has all these things jutting out of it, and that's what we're going to tackle next, is getting from the horned cuboid state into the actual cuboid state where we're a nice rectangular prism. So we're back, and we are in the horned cuboid state. This one actually isn't too bad. I think I can move everything. And so our mission now is to get everything put where it belongs. And you can see, for example, this long edge here belongs over there. And we will do that. Now, the first thing I'm going to do, I think I'm going to flatten these two. Let's take a look here. Okay, we've got some center pieces that are out. And yeah, it's just a lot easier if you have these slices that all work free. Then you can apply this edge flipping algorithm from the 5x5 cube. Super Antonio Vivaldi, in his 5x5x3 cuboid tutorial, shows this. He calls it the Red Bull algorithm, and I don't really know why, except maybe that these are horns or something. Anyway, so I'm just going to do that now, and what it's going to do is flip these, reverse these, but it will flatten them out, and it just makes the puzzle a lot easier to work with. I think, yeah, there's other ways we could do it, but anyway, this is just the easiest for me right now. I strongly recommend that you learn this algorithm, this edge flipping algorithm off by heart, because if you're going to solve this puzzle, you absolutely need it. Okay, so we flatten those out, and now let me have a look here. Let's see if we're gonna be able to do that again. You can only do that in pairs. So what I might do here, now I think I'm just gonna push this in. Okay, that's created a bit of, okay, and now I see another opportunity to apply the algorithm. Now, this can only work if you have these slices free. If you don't have them free, you're going to have to find some other way to do it, move some other stuff around or get them out of the way. So I'm just going to do the same thing again to flatten these, and then we'll work on the middle pieces there. It shouldn't be too bad. Okay, so okay, and there we go. Now, messing up in the middle of that algorithm is one of the best ways to get a super awesome scramble of this puzzle. I'll tell you, you will not get better scrambles than when you have to abandon one of those in the middle of it. Okay, so I have two more here. I'm just going to make sure that both of these are free. Okay, so I have those two edges there, and I'll just flatten those, and then we'll be all set. Now these are short edges. Don't worry about it. We'll get that sorted out. Whoa. There we go. Okay, well that worked out better. And I think I have to hit these where they belong. But we also have to get these guys. Now, these guys have a bit of a curve, so you have to be careful about that. But basically, what I'm going to do here, if they were on opposite sides, I might be able to if they were in the same orientation, I might be able to do something with them, but I can't because they don't have the same curve. So what I'm going to do is basically I have to swap this guy with one of these holes, and the easiest way to do that is just with a cuboid face flip algorithm. And so now this is where the curve comes in, because this curve needs to be the same as these guys or else it's not going to work. So I'm just going to flip this and this, and then that'll be done. Okay. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, so we managed to get that one done. Okay, so that was one. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing with this one. think what I will do now is, okay, I have to move it on to a different face here. So all I'm doing is I'm just getting the piece, and again, this one's curved this way, and now I've matched the curve, right? It won't do if we do it on a different face. So we'll just do the same thing. This is the just the face flipping algorithm for odd cuboids, or odd faces. And it has a couple of parity problems, but at this point we really don't care about them. So we just go ahead and undo them. And okay. And so now I can put all of this business back. And there we go. Nice, eh? Okay, well, getting there. So putting this one back is actually trivial, so I'm not really going to worry about that right now. Yeah, so I think what we can do here, I just want to see what I got as far as this goes, because sometimes when they line up, you can actually do some cool stuff with them. Yeah, I might be able to use this. I don't know. Oops. Okay, well, oops. So I got these lined up, but I'm just having a little trouble lining those up. You know what? I'm not going to do it that way. So I'm still learning this, obviously, and okay. So I'm just going to swap these and these. And boy, it would be nice if I could swap that one as well. Ah, there we go. Okay, so I'm just going to do an adjacent swap, and okay, and there you go. We are back into cuboid form. And the next step that I will do is to position the corners. Okay, I've tried to figure out where the best place to do that is, and I think this is it. So these are our centers, and that's all we know right now is those middle layer centers and then the outer centers. So for example, this is orange, so that middle one's not bad, but we don't care about that, it's the corner. So this orange, yellow, and green is actually correct right now, but that one's not, because we need the okay, there's the blue, and so those two corners are correct. Obviously these two are not. Hopefully those are. So this is no, we need white here, white and blue. So okay, so white, orange, and blue. So that corner is correct. That one's correct. And nope, that's not correct. There we go. Okay. So now all of the corners are correct. And you might ask me, what happens if you can't get the corners correct by just moving things around? And I would use corner swap algorithms, but I really don't know if that's necessary at this step. Anyway, so we've got the corners positioned, and we're back to cuboid form. So now the next thing we're going to do is the 9 centers. Actually, we're going to do all of the centers, but first we're going to do the 9 centers. So the method I'm using here is just the standard piece swap that we do on big cubes. So if I want to make that a blue one, then I'm going to put a blue one down here, and it doesn't matter which way this face goes. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So, and then I do these turns here, And this is exactly the same algorithm you would use on, say, a 7x7 or something like that, except that I'm doing it. There you go. Okay, so now we need that blue. And that's it. Now, these other ones, you don't really have to do them because you can use the Cuboid face swap algorithm to do them. But, you know, I just want to, I'll show that you can do them the same way. So this is green here, and that's blue. And so you just do the same thing. Whoa. Okay, they do get messed up. These little rectangular pieces do get messed up with some of the algorithms. So I like to do them here anyway, just to have the whole face done and sort of say that that step is done. But yeah, you don't have to do them at this point. And one more here. Okay, so okay, and so now we have the 9 centers done on both sides. And now just before we get going here, I want to make sure that my corners are still correct, that I didn't accidentally move them around, and indeed I moved these corners around. Okay, so we got that. Now the next step will be the curvy centers. Again, these middle curvy centers are very easy to swap with the Cuboid face swap. As a matter of fact, it's the only way I found to do them. And you would just do that. But this one, to do this requires a bit of an algorithm, and it's a little bit tricky here. So let me show you. See, right now we have this one and we have that one, and I can't use the little trick I just showed you because it relies on the fact that there's symmetry. And there isn't symmetry here. It's mirrored, but there's no symmetry across the x-axis here. So what I do is I'm going to flip one of these up, and then I'm going to use a corner swap to swap these pieces here. Now I will warn you that the corner swap takes these pieces too, so you have to do the middle ones first. So I'm going to do the corner swap, and it's going to swap this whole corner here, which means that we're going to swap these two completed corners. So we'll have to fix that. But I'm going to do a 3-layer corner swap right here. Okay, so, and that is our U prime. Okay, so that fixed that part for us, but it did cause this corner to become dislodged, to be swapped around. Now, actually fixing this would benefit us, so I'm just going to put that back. That was the setup move, and you may have noticed that these two pieces became dislodged. Yeah, no problem. This is a 3-layer adjacent swap. No problem there. So we still have to fix these corners which got messed up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a 2-layer corner swap, and I will warn you that these all have to be the same. These pieces have to be the same. These and these and these and these. Otherwise, it'll mess those up again on you. Maybe. I don't really know. Okay, let's do it. And so we've okay, what did I do here? Yeah, okay, we have actually fixed this. It's hard to see here, but actually this is where this belongs here. I turned it around before. So we now have to just do an adjacent face swap, and then we'll be all set. To wing layer. Okay, and now we have all of our curvy centers done. We see we have that one that's not correct, but we can fix that later. That's not a big deal. Okay, so next we're going to work on the wing edges. So we're back, and what we're going to do is work on the wing edges, the corner wings, and we're going to pair those up. You see, when they're symmetrical like this, then we can move them using the cuboid face swapping algorithms. But when they're not symmetrical like this, we have no easy way of moving them around, because we can't do slice turns anymore, because that would mess up our centers. So what we're going to do then is use that handy algorithm that makes the edges flip. And using the technique that Super Antonio Vivaldi showed in his 5x5x3 Cuboid Solve, where he goes through that algorithm 3 times, and what it does is it swaps this wing edge with that wing edge. And if you'll notice, this is the blue and yellow here, that's the blue and yellow. So if those two swapped, these would be correct. And I'm not trying to get them on the correct edge, I'm just trying to get them symmetrical. I don't really care as long as they match. Okay, so we're going to go through that Red Bull algorithm 3 times, once to raise them up. Then I'm going to flip this piece into position. We'll do it again to swap them, and then we'll do it one more time to flatten them back out. Okay, so here we go. Did I mention that you should probably learn this Red Bull algorithm off by heart? You should, to solve this puzzle. You'll be using it a lot. Now, one of the mistakes that I sometimes make is getting the there you go, forgetting which wings I'm working on. Now you have to have the centers all the same here, or else it will flip them around on you, and that's kind of bad. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap this one for that one. Okay, and now I will apply the Red Bull again, and it's going to swap these two, so this one will end up there. And we'll just continue here. Okay, so now we have this, and what we're going to do is we're going to put the original one back. So there's the original one back, and I've completely undone the setup move. Notice these are both the same color, and now I'm just going to use Red Bull to flatten them again. Now, okay, nice, we're symmetrical, and it does sometimes knock out this one of these middle ones. It switches them, but that's very easy to fix. Okay, so symmetrical. Okay, and so that's symmetrical. So it's just there's just a couple. Now I'm gonna have to do some setup moves, so I just have to remember that I did that. So this one and that one. So if I put this one over here and that one over there, then I will have all the long edges symmetrical. So I'm going to do it again. No further ado. Needless to say, this is probably one of the riskiest parts of the solve, because it's very, very easy to get mixed up. But it's alright, you start to recognize some. Okay, so all I've done is I've stuck them up, and so now I'm going to flip this wing around, and this is the one I want to swap into place. So now I'll do the Red Bull one more time. Okay, and one of my little curvy centers just fell out. I'm not going to worry about it right now. Okay, so I just have to fix that, and this happens sometimes just as you're doing some of these extreme moves. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is undo the setup move that moved those two pieces into place. Okay, so you'll notice that my centers are still good, and now these are the same color, and I'm just going to apply Red Bull one more time to flatten those. Okay, so those are good, and they're all good. Now, before I go any further, what I want to do is make sure that my corners are still good, and we'll go by the corner color because the middles don't mean anything. So, so those are good, but I see that that those are bad, and I remember that I flipped this around. So now my corners are good. Okay, so I checked those. Now the next step is going to be the center wings, and we will check the center wings. Okay, so the next step are the center wings. We're going to make sure they're all symmetrical, and so on this face, on these faces, that's great. They're all symmetrical. Sometimes you have to fix them up, and sometimes you don't. These ones are good, so those two are not symmetrical. those two are. Now, there are other ways to deal with it if you have a pair of them. One of the things you could do with these is you could do corner swaps. You could do some setup moves and then do diagonal corner swaps, and that would also fix them up. The problem is it also takes out the corners, right? So, you know, it would be possible maybe to do this somehow, but I just think it's just easier to always do it this way. So what I need to do now is I'm going to do a setup move and get these over here. And I'll have to remember to undo those setup moves later. And so now I'm going to move this piece, which is the blue-red, up to here so that it's symmetrical. And again, I don't care that it doesn't match the center. Eventually I'll fix that. Okay, so this should be the last one of these that I have to do. So I'm going to do this very carefully. Because it's not really fun having to recover from something like making a mistake here. Really. Okay, and I don't know, it's a little easier to turn than it appears. I'm holding this at a really awkward angle. Okay, so all I did was I made these stand up, and now I'm going to take and we're going to do it again. Right, okay, and so the next step is to flip this slice around and undo the setup moves. These are both the same color now, and I'll apply the Red Bull algorithm one more time to flatten them. Okay, now doing this on the long edges is just a little more difficult than the short edges. Okay, there we go. Okay, and so we have those are symmetrical, and the worst that happened was we knocked out one of those, which will be pretty easy to fix. Now I'm not going to use the single piece flip algorithm that we did with the centers because the time to do that is wrong. It would mess up the edges. But now we have achieved a really nice state, and that nice state is that all of our wings are symmetrical. And so now we're just going to use cuboid face flip algorithms, the kind that we use in all the other odd ordered cuboids, to flip our faces around until everything is sorted out. And so that's what we're going to do next. So now we just have to start flipping things around until we get everything sorted out. One little detail that remains is that I did a couple of setup moves over here, so I should probably check to make sure that my corners are correct. And actually I see that I got a couple of them that are not correct. Actually, come to think of it, I believe that what did I do? I should have checked that before, but let me see. What was I? Okay, I think those are actually Now let's see. If I do that, those are all nice and correct and paired up. And then these, that's the white and the red. Okay. Oh, okay. So somebody's got to be flipped around. And remember, I can't really look at the edges. I have to look at the corners. Okay. I think we're getting somewhere. And yes. Okay. So those are correct. Those are correct. And those are correct. Now, you notice that my wings just happen to line... Whoops, sorry. You notice that my wings just happen to match the corners now. That was... It's sort of not accidental. It just that the cube is starting to get organized now. And even if the corners weren't, then some of these next moves where I move whole chunks of the edges into place would sort all that out. So I don't have a really clear strategy now. I'm just going to start putting things back. And like I see an opportunity to complete this whole edge here. And I'm going to be aware of the fact that when I do something like this, it does tend to mess up the adjacent face. But I don't worry about that too much until I get a little closer to where I'm going here. Okay, there we go. So I got that one nicely done. And so now I guess I should probably so this is so let's just move this one into place here. And actually, while we're at it, I can move this this one here. So I'll do that one first. I have to remember that I did a setup move. Okay, you get really good at this algorithm as well. Okay, so that swapped that around, and actually it just coincidentally helped us out there. And let's see here. That's kind of a little strange. I thought I'd actually done a setup move, but I guess I'm okay. All right, so we need blue and white over here. So let's find blue and white. And so now I'll do that one. Okay, I'm going to do the setup move. Because again, it's not the edge, it's these ones. Okay, so that one's starting to come together. And now we'll do, I'm going to flip this around to put, because the white edge belongs here. And yeah, that'll work. Okay, so all starting to fall into place. So now this is about the time when I really start worrying about the adjacent parities and the edges and stuff like that. So let's take a look here. So that one, so if those two swapped right now, that would put one of them in the right place. So that would be good. And but actually, let's see here. No, it looks like I don't really. Okay, I'm gonna swap these two, these two middle ones, and I'm gonna see if I can maybe get some of these outer ones. You know what? I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna swap these. Okay. It's maybe not the most efficient way of doing things, but I just like to be methodical and kind of do things in a way that makes sense to me, even if it's not the most efficient. Okay, so now I'm gonna swap those two. Okay, actually I'm not worried about that. And I see that I have these And I think it's probably a good time to get these sorted out here. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I have to swap those. Again, it's just a standard Cuboid paste swap. Okay, and so it did create a bit of a parity, but that's not a big deal. Okay. As a matter of fact, yeah, I'm not going to worry about that right now. What I'm going to do is I want to fix that one. So I'm just going to flip this over, and I think I might actually fix that. So I'm going to fix this inner one here. Okay. So we fixed that. And let me see here. So starting to come together, right? So I'm not going to worry about those. Well, this green one. So this is green and red. So that goes on this side. So that has to go there. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to bring that here. Let's see. Trying to see if there's an easy way to not really. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and flip those, and we'll deal with it afterwards. Okay, so we got that one. Whoops, okay, and it looks like okay, I may have some. Yeah, okay, that's correct. Okay, so I have to actually flip this entire face here. So let me fix up these first. What goes there? Sorry about that. So that's going to be... Alright, so I guess I'm going to flip those first. Wow. Okay, and almost. Now we'll flip the middle one. Okay, so we have that, and now just have to flip those. Okay, now flipping these should actually flip this whole thing, which I think is what we want to do. So let's try that. Okay, so that one's correct. And indeed it did flip that. So we just have a couple of little edges here to fix up. And things are really starting to look up for us here, eh? So we're getting there. Okay, so we have that one to do. So I'm going to fix this, and I think we can get away without causing a parity there, because we do it twice. We do it once on the outside and then to fix it. But we'll see. Hopefully it won't cause a parity. Okay, and now we'll do it again. Okay, got that little inner piece, and I think I got away with, oh, maybe not. Alright, well, no problem there at all. So yeah, so I have to swap those and a few other ones. Okay, so I'm going to solve this little business here, and then we'll just go for the kill at the end of it. Alright, so okay, and now I'll just do that. Starting to look really, really nice. Eh? So what's left now is this inner edge here. I just have to get that sorted out, but doing that we'll flip these around. But you'll see that a couple of these are already out of place anyway, so let's see if we can work out a way to sort that out. This is a red and white piece over here, so that actually belongs right there. Okay, so actually the way I prefer to do this is put the one that I'm just going to stay on top. So what I want to do then is put this piece right over here. So we're back, and we are just about done the 3x5x7 Cuboid Solve. I have this edge to swap, actually these two wing pieces to swap, and then we have to fix up these last three misplaced edges here. And so there's a few ways to do this, but what I like to do, I'm going to leave this here, and I'm going to put the piece that belongs there down here, which is going to be a red and a white, and that's here. So I'm going to flip this down and flip it over. So now that piece is there, but I have taken away the edge that I wanted to work on, so I put the edge back. So I just have to remember to do that in my undoing my setup move. Okay, and this will remind me that I have to flip the bottom around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this whole face, which will also flip those, then I'm going to have to flip the edge back. Okay, so that actually fixed those up. And now the question is, we're going to put this back, because I want to do this in two different moves, because we fixed this one here, but this little edge here is out of place. So we want to turn the top so that now these two will swap when I do the very last face swap here, and that will be the end of things. Okay, and there we go. Solve the 3x5x7 Cuboid. Used that Red Bull algorithm quite a bit. Used the big centers algorithm. One thing you didn't see me do too much was swapping corners using the diagonal and the adjacent corner swaps. Those happen quite a bit. And there were a few other algorithms that I didn't use, a few other cases where different pieces are stuck, because just about any piece on this cuboid can be stuck where any other piece belongs, and boy, things get out of hand. I really curious to hear your comments. If you think you have a better algorithm, if you think you have a better sequence, I'd be curious to hear what you came up with. And of course, if you have any questions, I will do my level best to answer them. Alright, well that's it for me, and thanks for watching.